I guess my confusion is, though, if it is the case that Palestinians overwhelmingly are anti-LGBT, then if people are rejoicing because they're being killed, would you have objections to that?
They are children. We're talking. If people want to rejoice,
fine. What about the adults?
The adults.
Yeah.
If people are happy that people who are raised to be homophobic are dying and who never really knew much else and who were raised in like a genocide, right? And whatever, like never formed full political opinions. If you want to judge their morality based off of that, go for it. I personally care much more about the fact that this culture is being erased, that the land is being taken, that like beyond count, that just an insane amount of people are dying, and this is never discussed. It's discussed in the sense of some people online are like, this is bad, and then with the exception of that, people forget for years at a time. I would really like to bring it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with my points.
Okay, so you said something very valuable when you talked about we determine how much value a person's life is based on certain things and whose death is more impactful than that. I totally agree with that, and I'm gonna come back to that. But I feel like we also have this difference in value for human life, because you talk about the children in Palestine. We talk about having so much gun control because the children in all of these mass shootings. What is the difference between children that are being aborted?
Said what I said,
okay,
or
so
what I wanted to say.
That's the question I'm going to pose.
Yes.
But I just think that we have this like selective outrage, because I've seen some horrendous videos on social media lately from like clinics of just baby parts in buckets, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But when it's a child sitting in a school, it's somehow different, and that's what's the concern. And I think that's the big thing with Charlie Kirk, is that there's this value placed on life based on what color you are, based on what your political beliefs are, based on how much money you have. And there's this double standard. Going back to earlier, there was this double standard, and we don't have the same energy for all of the different things. So what would you say the difference is? Or even, let's say, people who didn't have an issue with the issue with the assassination of, I think it was like Democratic, I don't know what their exact position was, but it was a couple, I believe. I don't know much about it.
Yes.
People don't have the same upset about that they have had about Mr. Kirk. So it's, what's the explanation for that? Why are we as humans putting this like level of like, okay, this is different death, or this is different violence, or this is different when it's these children, and it's different when it's these children? Like, why do you think that is? And as someone who I assume is pro-abortion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pro-choice.
So what's the difference between the children in Palestine, children in schools, or children being taken? Because either way, they're young lives.
I do completely understand where you're coming from with that. I personally am not going to get onto the argument of whether or not abortion is murder. That is not my abortion take. The reason that I am pro-choice...
Would you say that taking a life is murder?
Well, let me explain my take real quick, and then we'll get into it.
Well, you know what? I'm actually going to jump in here just because...
Gotcha.
It is getting a little bit away from the actual topic at hand, because now we're just getting into like a separate abortion conversation, which we've already kind of derailed a little bit too much as it is. I have some chats coming through.
Hail and well met. Lol Paladins donated $200.02.
Yo, where you been?
She's so
Thank you, man.
indoctrinated, it's sad. The men, the women, and the children of Palestine want death to bunnies and death to homosexuals.
Oh,
it's not just a few bad apples. Unless she thinks the same about police.
So it changed, that was supposed to be Jews. It changed, for some reason, Streamlabs changed Jews to bunnies.
I was very confused about the bunny. I was like, I haven't heard this before.
Lol Paladins donated $200.
Yo, thank you, man. Where you been, bro?
That being said, it's so hilarious she is concerned about the Palestinian culture being erased, but yet she would rejoice about her own culture being replaced in the United States.
I don't have a response to that one. All I would like to say is I find this very funny because I am Syrian. So I don't know what we mean by my own culture. I don't support cultural erasure in any form.
So maybe Lil Paladins, I don't know if you want to revise it. By the way, thank you for the big support, man. It's been a while, dude. Thank you for tuning in, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been well, man. Okay. Anybody else wanted to weigh? Did you want to weigh in on the Charlie Kirk thing? Anybody?
No.
You know what? That's not fair. What happened in our house when we found out that Charlie Kirk died?
Guys, you guys
what
speak
happened?
into the mic, please.
What happened in our house when I found out Charlie Kirk died? Tell them exactly what happened. I cried for 3 days.
She was in a state for like 3 days because what happened was genuinely horrible.
It was horrible.
It was absolutely horrible, and there's no buts or ands to that. What happened was absolutely terrible, and there's no other comments to make because I don't believe that death should ever be a political discussion unless we're actively that person is taking the lives of other people, such as Hitler, which isn't even that's not even you can't even compare the two.
Come on.
But in terms of like death isn't political. What happened fucking sucked, and it doesn't matter what you believe in.
But you and your sister could not share your sister was empathetic more so than you.
Well, my sister doesn't really care about anything. I fear like we could go into war and she still wouldn't care.
Well, the bottom line is our house was quite divided.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see final thing here. This is something that I wanted to circle back to. Then we'll get hopefully into some more dating topics. I have to follow up on this. You said woman, not a real thing.
Oh, here we go.
So I think it might be helpful here. Why don't we what is a woman?
A woman is someone who personally identifies as one.
A woman is
That is
someone
so
who identifies
insulting.
as a woman. Wait, guys, do me a favor here. I'm going to fix your mics one more time. Leave them where they are. Move your mic to the very edge of the table, please. All right, scoot your mic that way, please. A little less, and just keep it at the edge.